What's up, everybody? RBL Weekly is back on the air, week 24 of the 2024 season. I am the commissioner of the Roast Battle League, Pat Barker. Forgot what my title was. That's the host and creator of the Roast Battle, Brian Moses. Moses, we have so much to talk about this week, but I was late because I got stuck in bike marathon traffic. They just shut down the most popular streets for a bike marathon, so I'm here late. We're running behind schedule. We only have the studio for X amount of time, so we have a lot to talk about, but we can't. And that's my fault. I'm sorry about that. And those bikers. What do you say we just jump right into battles, huh?
Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Let's do it. All right. So as always, we don't watch 7, 6, and 5 here in the studio because we already have time constraints, and this week it's even worse. So we're just going to toss to these battles, and then we'll be back in a little bit to go through the top 4. The number 7 battle this week comes to us from the International East Division, specifically the Far East. I'm talking about Tokyo. This is a fun battle between two very good friends, one of whom is about to move, or in parlance, get traded to Toronto. For the 2025 season for a Canadian to be named later, I assume. It's the number 7 battle this week. It's from Tokyo, Reuben VM versus Ken Takahashi. Here it is.
So Reuben's stage name is Reuben VM. VM stands for very malnourished, you can tell. He actually used to do charity gigs, and he raised a bunch of money because he looks like he has all the diseases in the world. Okay? AIDS to Zika, you know? Yeah, cover the... Got a little AIDS right here, right now, bro. You got a little speckle of AIDS, I guess. Nice shirt, you know?
Thank you. By the way, your English is really good, so, yeah.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
So Ken, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah?
Yeah, you got it right.
The most interesting thing about Ken is that his name is Ken, which is the most boring name in Japanese and English. I don't know. But the Ken he reminds you the most of is Fukushima Ken. Because no matter how safe everyone says it is, no one actually wants to go there.
Hey, come on. Did Maya actually work there? Didn't you hear? It's good work anyways. Fuck. Okay, as you can probably tell, Reuben is a tall, white lesbian. Okay. And he has a child. He also works at a school. So basically, this is everything that Michael Jackson aspired to be. Minus the great music, okay? Fuck the pedos, yeah.
Thank you, Enter the Dragon from behind. So Ken is unemployed. Aww. But on the other hand, he's lost a lot of weight. So yeah, he used to be a fat kid. But it's actually a shame because, you know, it means he missed his calling as a body double for Kim Jong-un. So.
I used to have the haircut, not anymore, but you know. All right. So Reuben is basically... Okay, let me try to read my own handwriting. Okay. I have dyslexia, y'all. Okay, so... Contrary to popular belief, even though Reuben looks like a male prostitute, he is, in fact, not a male prostitute. And that is clear to tell because he sucked BJ's dick for free.
All right, thank you, Gastro Boy. So Ken, he used to live in the U.S. That's why he speaks English, and he's going back, and I think it's interesting. Going like next month.
Yeah.
And I think he's following in a long tradition of Japanese men with no future, crossing the Pacific with no intention of coming back.
Says the English speaker that's stuck in Japan. Okay.
Let's go.
I'm also an English teacher though, so
It's because of your fucking economy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm stuck here. Jesus.
Please stay here until the yen gets better, okay? Then you get the fuck out. Anyways, Reuben actually does a musical comedy. Some people say it's hacky and all that. I disagree. It's just bad, you know. Yeah, but he actually specializes in this music genre called white noise. That's where he strums the guitar and everybody falls asleep. You know? Actually, that's how you conceived your first child, with your wife. That's what I heard.
Fuck you, man. Like, you are way whiter than I am. He's so white, he has a Japanese girlfriend.
You have an Asian wife and an Asian kid. What do you mean?
Half crew. Just doesn't count. Ken, you know, he went to school in the US and in Japan, and I think he always found it hard to fit in. At one point, his mother got him tested for ADHD. Turns out he didn't have it, he's just stupid. which honestly, that's the most American thing about him.
I am fucking dumb, yes. Okay, you got me there, I'm fucking dumb. Okay. Anyways, Reuben is from the Netherlands, home to Van Gogh and Anne Frank's house. Yeah. Van Gogh actually cut his ears off listening to you, did you know? And as for Anne Frank, she didn't even make it. She died on the spot, did you know? Fuck, that bombed. Okay, I thought that was my best one. God damn it. Okay.
I mean, it's probably didn't work because you've got a Hitler haircut. So I don't know. So I wanted to. I talked to a lot of people, and they all said the thing about Ken is that he really is an American inside a Japanese body. So I wrote a little song about it.
What the fuck is this shit? Come on.
Here's your fucking white noise, bitch. He's an American inside a Japanese man. Hang on. He's an American inside a Japanese man. He would jerk off to a schoolgirl, fleeing a school shooting. He's an American inside a Japanese man. He'll drill with his micro penis. He's an American. Everybody! Inside a Japanese man. He'll commit a war crime before committing another war crime. And never apologizing.
Give it up.
So that was the number 7 battle this week, Reuben VM versus Ken Takahashi. We didn't watch it. We have exactly 1 minute. You know Reuben a little bit. He is the musical comic. He made a roast battle theme song at one point. He had a very fun performance. And I love Ken Takahashi. He's going to be moving to Toronto shortly. So, Ken, if you're watching this, you should hit up Danish Anwar when you get to Toronto and battle there, 100%. Okay, the number 6 battle this week comes to now I got to check. I was waiting for you to say something so I could fucking. All right, here we go. Number 6 battle this week is coming to us from Scotland. Don't you dare cut that and make that smooth. We're leaving it in just like that. We'll do it live. Number 6 this week from Scotland. This is from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which I would love to talk about. We're going to have a great opportunity next week because I think next week is when we're going to see that Jack Trainer Shalaka Corrupt battle that we were hyping up. Number 2 in the world versus number 3 in the world. I'm not going to spoil it. I know the results. I know who. I hear it was an incredible battle. Can't wait to see it. But for now, this is from the first Edinburgh Fringe show, and it's Scotland versus London. It is Dean T. Byrne from Scotland going up against the guy we talked about a couple weeks ago, Luke Hall from London. Here it is.
Did I hear someone say, "Oh fucking hell" already? So it's great to be here battling the bloated corpse of George Michael. Yeah, except Dean's less careless whisper and more carelessly eating Cadbury's Whispers. That'll do.
Alright. Cheers, Luke. Luke looks like the kind of guy who'd serve canapes on Epstein's Island.
True, man. Got to pay the bills somehow. Dean's a massive rap fan, but to be fair, he's a massive anything. He loves spitting bars and on black people. It is mad that he's got so much rhythm and flow, because that's something his cardiac system desperately needs.
If you look at Luke, you can tell that he's got ADHD, a debilitating hooker debt.
That's why I'm serving those canapes. Dean looks like he used to wear a helmet to school. He's dyslexic, I assume.
Autistic, you fuck.
We'll go with dyslexic. You look like you put the D in fucking moron.
Luke's actually sober now. It's not because he's an alcoholic, it's just that he can't reach the liquor cabinet.
It's true. Dean told me he takes idioms literally, so if you asked him to beat around the bush, he'd have a wank in a garden. And if
Fuck yes!
If you asked him to bite the bullet, we'd all be happier. The only idiom he doesn't take literally is biting off more than he can chew, because that does not exist.
Luke has bulimia and a gambling addiction, so whether he's out... That wasn't the joke, but alright. I'll fucking take it. it. Whether he's out drinking or in the casino, he's going home with no chips.
It's good.
Luke Hall, more like puke all.
It's true I had bulimia, which means more gags than Dean's comedy.
The BBC would disagree, you dick.
He's got a credit. So Dean's dad was an alcoholic, and now his mum's a filthy whore. His dad had a 12-step program, while Dean's had 12-step dads.
Alright, here's two final things you need to know about Luke. He wants to be like Kobe Bryant, and he has a broken penis. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that he can't helicopter.
That's good.
So that was number 6 this week from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Dean T. Byrne from Scotland going up against Luke Hall from London. As we said, I believe a week ago, Luke Hall is a guy that we don't talk about nearly enough. He's 7-1 on the season. He makes the countdown. And this was supposed to be the week where it's like, finally, let's have that Luke Hall discussion. But the fucking bike traffic hit. So, Luke, you're going to have to wait another week. It's already been 2 seasons. What's one more week, right? We'll talk about him next time. Let's keep it moving right now with the number 5 battle. London picked up a point on that one, and now they're about to pick up 3 more points by virtue of having the number 5 battle of the week. This is a great one that I really enjoyed. It's Drew Stern versus Matt Rouse. Here it is.
Oh, hello everyone. I feel like I'm on stage battling the teenage son that hates me. This is Matt. Matt looks like an NPC whose face hasn't quite rendered yet. I feel like if I have a conversation with him, I'm going to get sent on a side quest to score some ket.
This is Drew. Drew sort of looks like Jon Snow if he was called Jon Slow. You know, like he's not trying to hold the door, he's trying to lick the door. You know, like the only thing they have in common is they both fuck their sisters. You know, and Drew loves dragons. You know, dragging his balls on his sister's face.
I know nothing. This sentient stick insect is Matt. Matt's got a very confusing look. Like he simultaneously looks like a terrified child and a terrifying adult. Like he has a shiv and a bedtime, right? Like he hangs out with roadmen, but he reads Mr. Men.
Drew collects watches. He likes to have 2 watches on at a time. He also has autism. He uses his watches to time how long it takes him to complete his Rubik's Cubes. It's true, he does. At the moment, he can do it as long as it takes for his wife's boyfriend to come. You know,
I wear 2 watches so I can see what time it is no matter which hand I'm using to fist your mum. Despite not looking like he has an education, Matt actually studied biology, specializing in microorganisms so he could find his dick.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Drew's been doing comedy for like 5 years. He's actually got 3 specials out. Yeah, they're called his kids.
Yeah, the 3rd one isn't that special. Matt says that he used to box, which I can only presume means he worked in packaging at Amazon. But he was also a former semi-tennis pro, but had to give it up because of injuries. You know, tennis elbow from the backhand, tennis balls from lunging, and herpes from the ball boys.
Yeah, fuck the little ball boys. Like his kids. No, I'm joking. Who writes these jokes? What's going on? I don't know, man. Drew's he's got like a creepy male feminist vibe. You know? It looks like he stands outside women's bathrooms and offers them tampons and then asks for them back, you know, like... Because like in the UK, a woman is sexually assaulted every 5 minutes, or 10 when Drew's doing a longer set, you know?
I originally thought that Matt and I were the same ethnicity, half white, half whiter. But it turns out he's actually a quarter Swiss and a quarter Pakistani, believe it or not. If you'd asked me, I would have guessed that. The only way I thought he'd have a bit of Swiss and brown in him is if he butt-fucked a Toblerone.
That's racist, you know, that's not cool. That's just not cool at all, you know? You know, he's so racist, man. He still calls Chinese people Orientals, you know? He does. You should hear what he calls Japanese people. He calls them Chinese. It's weird because he looks like a white guy that loves Japan a suspicious amount, you know? Like... Like if you asked him for a fact about Japan, he'd just reel off the age of consent. It's like, it used to be 13, like... Right.
Was it 13?
It used to be, yeah, back in the day. I googled it for
I
this.
think someone else knows a bit more about the age of consent in Japan than me.
Yeah, because I fucked your kids. Oh, no! Who keeps saying that? All right, I think we're done.
That's our fun. Thanks very much.
So there it was, the number 5 battle from London, Drew Stern versus Matt Rouse. It was great. You're going to have to take my word for it. Okay, you ready to start the show?
Yeah. Oh, man. Finally, somebody let me out of my cage.
That was pretty quick. Yeah, I think we made up some time on that.
That was like 5 minutes. That was great.
That was nice. We flew through that shit. How are you?
Good. I'm looking in the screen here at the, and my teeth are like as yellow as this shirt I'm wearing.
No, you're not. That's bad lighting or something. I'm looking right at your teeth.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah, I gotta get that checked out.
You ever do the teeth whitening?
Yeah, I did it once. It's painful.
Is it?
Yeah.
Never. I've always wanted to do it, but
My mom bought it for like a Christmas present.
yeah.
And this like weird, attractive woman who was like super Jesus-y came to the comedy store and like did it in the belly room, like green room.
Wait.
I think I was running lines or doing something with somebody. I was like, just come do it there. There's a lot of light there. And then she came in and was just like preaching Jesus and had like big, beautiful fake breasts, just like a gorgeous person, and just like kept harping on Jesus because I think she was just like, do you like, I at that point I was just, I don't know, do I pay you for I didn't know what was going to happen. Because I keep hearing about these girls who like do the teeth whitening and they're just like prostitutes. So I didn't know if that's what my mom had like accidentally paid for. And she just kept using the Jesus ploy to be like, hey, by the way, after this is, you know, because it was bad. I don't know like if she like even made it any whiter, but it hurt. And then I was like, well, at least you look good. And then I don't know. Then I was like, all right. She's like, a tip. I was like, a tip. I'm bleeding.
Every word of that story just got progressively more insane.
Yeah.
I assumed it would take place at a dentist's office. I thought that's where they did that sort of thing.
You would think.
Well, no, I think most reputable places, that is where they would do it.
It felt like it was like instead of a mobile van, or it should have been.
Yeah, door-to-door mobile teeth whitening sounds insane.
Yeah, my mom literally just like found a guy who was just like, "Hey, I can take the dents out of your car there.
Yeah.
I can take the brown out of your teeth there.
That's
the
fucking-
coffee stains."
How did the Comedy Store feel about you just getting dental work done in the green room?
I mean, it was just me and the ghosts in there. They were like, "This idiot. We would have done it for free."
Yeah. I love how you were saying that, like, you know how it, I think a couple times you talked about as if it was normal. Like, you know how it is when the big titty Christian woman fucks up your teeth whitening in the belly room and talks about Jesus the whole time.
The whole time.
I'm like, that is not a relatable experience the way you think it is.
It was like a weird poltergeist, but like on Tubi, because it was, because she didn't want to just, she was trying to exorcise the demons in the place, and also like not trying to go into the place of like, do I dance on the guy? I need this money because I'm not really good at this like teeth whitening thing. I didn't know what was going on. She had like a wild like white Bronco too. So it wasn't like she was a bad bitch getting out of like a terrible car. And I was like, Mom, what Groupon did you get? This is like 2015 or something.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know what was going on, but I told my mom, and she was just like, "Yeah, sorry about that. It was cheap."
All right, so listen, if you're watching this and you think his teeth look yellow, just fucking keep it to yourself. I don't need you in the comments like giving him an existential crisis. He has PTSD about getting his teeth cleaned. It's just not gonna, or whitened. You get them cleaned, I would assume.
Remember, I got my, I think I talked about this on here. I got my wisdom teeth pulled in Tijuana.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit goes on in my mouth, you guys. What? Okay, pause. Pause.
Holy shit. All right. I have nothing to say to any of that. I think your teeth look great. I had wanted to get mine whitened at one point, but now I really want to get them whitened. It sounds like fun. I didn't realize there was that much extracurricular shit going on. I didn't realize they were also prostitutes. Now that's a BOGO deal for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get to learn about Jesus, look at some, great it's great. Saline, I don't know. Silicone, saline, what's going on there?
All right. Well, tell your mom to let me know exactly who I have to call to make that happen.
Wow.
I think I would fuck it up and just get a professional, and nobody wants that.
That was a sly your mom joke in there.
No, it wasn't.
That was good.
No, it wasn't.
Tell your mom to call me.
Absolutely was not.
Tell your daddy to page me.
Let's get into battles. Top 4 battles this week. Now, this was actually, I didn't get into any of this. This was a really good week. There's a lot of fun stuff. There are a couple at the top that people felt really, really strongly about. They scored a lot of points. This number 4 battle is interesting to me. I really want to get your perspective on it because this is one of those that was as high as number 1 on certain ballots, and it was unranked on other ballots. So very sort of like, polarizing battle. Would love to get your thoughts. And this is from a place we have barely seen this season. I'm talking about Australia.
What?
They come into this week with 4 points on the season. They double their point total. Last week, we saw Atlanta rise from the dead. Now Australia is rising from the dead, leaving only Montreal in their self-dug grave. Australia, once a year, they run this tournament. It ends at the Comedy Store. They have this great event. It looks amazing. The crowd's great. And it happens once a year. So I think that they're about to put some more points on the board. That would be my prediction. But this is from their grand finale event. This isn't the championship, but it's one of the battles from that night. It is Jack Jones versus Gavin Scott. Here it is.
Gavin's unemployed and lives with his mum. So I'd like to thank him for taking the night off, buying flashlights on Facebook Marketplace to be here. Gavin kind of looks like Hagrid if he gave up magic and took up magic mushrooms.
Jack Jones, you sentient stock image.
Emotional damage.
Here come the sound effects. They're not going to like this.
Jack looks like the kind of guy that thinks crypto's a scam, but Pokemon's cards are a good investment. Jack studied law in university and now he works in advertising. Oh, he works in insurance, sorry. He just needs a stint in advertising just to get the fuckwit trifecta.
Thank you, Meth Rogan.
Outstanding.
Gavin has a body that says, I stop breathing when I sleep. And a personality that says, I want to stop breathing when I sleep.
Thank you, Jimmy Car Crash. I think Jack looks like Pinocchio if every time he sent a creepy DM, his hairline receded. I think Jack has the demeanor of a ventriloquist doll that was owned by Ted Bundy. And if he was a talking doll and you pulled the string on his back, he would say, "Did you come?"
Oh, yeah!
It's a thoughtful lover.
Gavin once tried to kill himself. He had a toaster, but not a big enough bathtub.
We'll talk about it. Timeline-wise, there's no joke stuff there. No, we'll talk about it. Great joke.
Gavin's single. He's told me he's had a few one-night stands where he would stand once a night.
All right, thank you, Epstein's towel boy. Oh, man. Jack looks like a private schoolboy, but he's not. He just shows his privates to schoolboys. Jack's initials is JJ, and much like the shop JJ's, he also targets teenagers. Yeah.
Isn't it great that Ron Jeremy could be here tonight? Gavin used to be a weed dealer, which is the first time he'd ever used scales. Dude, Gavin looks like he wrote Game of Thrones. Yeah, George Hard R. Martin.
Jack looks like he hides listening to Andrew Tate from his girlfriend. Looking at Jack, I don't know if he's Israeli or just wants to put them all on a train.
Boy.
I don't think he is Israeli, but he does bomb a lot. And he denies it.
Last one!
Gavin's so fat, the only time he's used a flight of stairs is when he gave his girlfriend an abortion.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Gavin's so fat, even Peter Gleason thinks he let himself go. The guy from earlier.
Finish him.
Sorry, Peter.
Jack talks about bowel disease a lot in his comedy, and I don't think it's a laughing matter, as Jack has proven every time he got on stage. When Jack told me he had Crohn's disease, I thought it was like yellow fever, but for old people. And then he told me he worked in insurance, so maybe he does like fucking old people. Yeah.
I do.
It's interesting watching them back a second time. Before I get into my thoughts, what'd you think of the number 4 battle this week?
What did I think of the number 4 battle this week? I don't like Gavin laughing after his jokes.
Yep.
It's funny because normally you hate it because it might be a little overpowering, but this didn't feel like that. It almost felt like it did help sometimes because maybe some of the stuff was either undercooked material or it was maybe too dark. So him laughing after it kind of helped ease the landing a little bit. I'm like, okay, I hear what he's doing. It's okay. And there's seems like a lot of familiarity within the roast battle community with references and the way they tell jokes. I think I heard 2 jokes I've heard recently in that, not saying that they took those, I'm just saying that it seems like there's a lot of similar thought when it comes to writing roast jokes.
Yeah, I mean, and this is something I think you have to take on a case-by-case basis, right? Because every scenario is different. Of course, the number one battle last week was Shelley Gruenberg, John Luna, and Shelley had that great, essentially the same joke about committing suicide, but the toaster wouldn't fit in the bathtub because the guy was too fat. And, this battle happened before that episode was released, so there's just, unless Jack flew to Austin, saw the All-Star game, or had like a spy on the inside, it's parallel thinking. But it's crazy how stuff like that happens. We said it last couple episodes ago with the Tapatio thing, where it's like you don't know. I mean, certainly, parallel thinking is a thing. It's going to happen. There's only so many jokes to be written.
It's just funny that we keep doing it like on the same weeks.
I know.
That's where the parallel thinking gets a little weird. I'm not saying that there's no way that was like taken. I'm just saying that. It's very funny that on the other side of the world in Australia,
two people,
they're thinking the same thing, like that very cartoonish, like, oh, maybe we're just not thinking hard enough. Like, oh, I guess there's probably more fat references out there, just like of a guy trying to kill himself if he's fat.
Yeah, it is crazy how we've been watching battles for 11 years, and like you never hear that, and then two people independently have the same thought on opposite sides of the world within like a couple weeks of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's bizarre. It's crazy. Here's what I'll say about that battle. I'll say it right now. I was the guy who had it number one. I watched that battle. I loved that battle. Watching it back here, I think I caught a couple of the things that maybe other people on the committee had seen that had it a little bit lower. I still think unranked is crazy because I think Jack Jones' performance in that battle was outstanding. I think he's one of the most unheralded people because of the scene he's in, and it's not one of the more active scenes. But I think he's great. He only did one battle last season, and it was number one, and it was one of the best battles of the season. I thought he was outstanding. The two things that really jumped out at me that I was able to ignore the first time, and the commenters will not ignore this, it was Gavin laughing at his jokes, which I caught the first time, and like you, I was like, it doesn't bother me. This time it was like, all right, this is a lot. And it was the sound guy, which personally I don't care about. I'm able to just compartmentalize and be like, well, whatever. But if you saw the cooking that the fucking Denver sound guy took in the comments last week, I mean, they were on that guy's ass.
Every week,
but I feel like last week it bubbled over and people were like, we want this guy dead. We want this man dead. And the Australia sound guy has been lying dormant for most of the season, and he's like, this is my chance. Sound effects after every joke is just entirely, it's too much.
He even ran one back because he knew that he stepped on somebody's joke, and then he ran it back. I'm like, oh, this
escalated quickly one. Yeah,
this is going to be bad.
Yeah,
Coach T, you started a phenomenon that was really cool and underground back in the 2010s, and now this digital era they don't want it.
Yeah,
and you're going to ruin these DJs like self-esteem now because these commenters are going to eat this guy alive.
I think you could do it. You just got to pick your spots. I mean, that's what Coach was always so great at. He picked his spots. They were always, the sound effects made sense. Here it's like, Jack does his last joke, and then it's on Gavin. Jack has clearly won the battle, and they give Gavin the finish him thing. It's like, come on, you got to pay attention.
It did take me out of it. That and Gavin being like, after every joke.
It was it was a lot. I think I was so enamored with Jack, and Gavin was fun too. But to me, Jack was kind of like next level. A lot of his jokes about like he has like a body that says I stop breathing when I fall asleep. And the one night stand and stands once a night. I thought there were some great creative fat jokes in there.
Yeah, you could tell like Jack was like he's next level. It felt like he was just, this is like a sparring match with him and Gavin. Just like I just need to do this before I get to like battle somebody like real.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Gavin. Not saying you're not real. You're you look like the Fisher King.
Yes. Exactly. We're going to keep moving right now, get to the top 3 battles of the week. Number 3 is a battle that we saw in the Belly Room. And it features one of the more prolific battlers in roast battle history going up against somebody who's, relatively speaking, a little bit more of a newcomer who was in there looking like she had something to prove. This is Paige Wesley versus Kiki Anderson from LA. It's number 3 this week. Here it is.
So Paige is fat. A lot of people get up here and compare Paige to cows, whales. I would never do that. She's more of a turtle. You get her on her back and she can't get up.
Kiki looks like if Barbie went to trade school. I knew I shouldn't have worn these overalls. 4-H program for sure. Paige has a tattoo of a bird. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken, but technically it's a bird. That's what's up. That's what's up. Got a whole bucket in the back. Kiki is Latina, at least on her government forms. Most people think that Kiki doesn't look Latina, and I disagree, because she definitely looks like a teen mom.
That's the only time you'll hear Paige talking about races.
Cardio's not my strong suit.
I'm jealous of Paige. She's a homeowner. I don't know if she's rich, but she's definitely got a fortune.
That was a thinker. That was a thinker. Yeah. I am. Thank you. Thanks. I am fat, and Kiki's got scoliosis, so I guess real women do have curves. Kiki's spine is so fucked up, she wears backpacks as hats.
It's handy.
Just picture it.
Thank you, Megan McKinkles.
Oh, you're welcome, Marlboro Barbie.
Camel Lights, actually. Keep it going for this deli counter, Karen. I feel like Paige walks up to the register and goes, "You call this a fucking sandwich?"
I sit on buns bigger than that every morning. Come on now. Kiki's trying to make it in Hollywood, so she lives in a garage right now. But honestly, I do think that Kiki has something special that LA doesn't have, and we need more of it. Available parking spaces.
All right. You know what? Honestly, Paige is a legend. Comics are so scared to follow her in line for the bathroom. Because you know when she got out, she just destroyed.
That's fair. You see this body? You know what's up? I'm a pizza moon. Cholesterol rising. Let's go. Kiki actually had surgery to have her ribs expanded, and I think that's perfect because you definitely look like you could use more ribs, girl.
Nice ribs chant at the end there. Number 3 battle this week, Paige Wesley, Kiki Anderson. Thoughts?
Oh man, Paige is going to be the AMA guest this week on for the roast battles drop on Thursday.
Oh, nice. Tell the people real quick in case they don't know what that is.
Yeah, so Ask Me Anything. We do a live stream. We ask people who are part of the show, some judges, some cast members. So every Thursday before we go into the episode that premieres at 5:30 every Thursday on YouTube. We'll have a guest, and this week it's going to be Paige Wesley. So tune in Thursday, 5 p.m., Paige Wesley, your Ask Me Anything live stream.
Yeah, get in there, ask questions about joke writing, about her outfits. I mean, Paige kills the outfit game. This, of course, no exception. And had a really good battle. Kiki picked up the win on that one, I think, because Paige kind of slowed down towards the end there, and that's when Kiki saved kind of like her best jokes, and the "you call that a sandwich" to me was like the biggest laugh of the whole thing. But man, Paige was crushing the early part, and then I felt like Kiki kind of evened it up about halfway through.
I feel like that's been a thing lately. It's guys starting early, and then the consistency wins. It's like a big John Luna thing I think we saw in the All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
Where it was Shelly big early, and then he was kind of consistent throughout. It wasn't as big in the beginning, so you're like, oh shit, they're probably going to win. And then, but that consistency in the end, because those fails do kind of stand out more than I guess even the mids.
Well, Shelly won, so that's a bad example. But yeah. But we were talking about maybe it should have consistency is a thing that maybe I think sometimes doesn't totally shine through. It's all about like joke placement, where you hit the home runs. I think if you hit a home run first or last, it's way more benefit than hitting it second or fourth, say. But I thought that Kiki landed her last couple really well. Paige is just one of the best to ever do this. She's so fun with the yes ending, and she plays off of everything. But Kiki, that's her second appearance on the countdown this year. Remember, she battled Malia Simon and had a great one a while back. So kudos to her.
Yeah, where's she at right now with points? Is she in the running for LA MVP?
I think that's at this point still a Luna Nate Welch thing.
Okay.
But Kiki now 1-2, but 11 points on the season. Paige 1-3 with 12 points. So they've been two of the more prolific scorers for LA this year. Each of them have made a couple of countdowns now. I don't know that she's a serious threat for MVP. If she stacked a bunch of battles the last couple months, she might be able to get in there. I know Paige is doing that. Ryan Nesson, people are making a run. But
I like this Ryan Nesson thing, man. I was going to talk about it on this episode. I guess let's just do it. I'm singing his praises. Champ, I'm with you. He's had two battles, the one in Austin, the one last week in the belly room. Mm-hmm. I think he's back, man.
He's battling, and he is back. He is back. He's battling in New York. He's battling in London. He's going everywhere. He's talking about sneaking in a Bay Area battle before the season ends on November 1st. He's really fucking going for it. And, we just dropped the first night of the Netflix is a Joke Festival on our channel here. You've probably seen it. The numbers are really good on it. And the comment I'm seeing a lot is a lot of people thought that Ryan maybe should have won his first round battle in that tournament. Ask Ryan himself and he'll tell you that he shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. To me, the biggest difference is you go back and watch that and you just see there was something off with the energy. I think he likes being the underdog. I don't think he was comfortable being the guy with all these expectations. Once he won the championship, he was the guy. And everybody expected him to beat Nate, and everybody expected him to beat Divya, and I think he got in his own head. And now that he's fallen, you start the season 0-2, it doesn't matter who you are, all of a sudden you're a major underdog, and he's like just going out there and having fun again. And he's killing it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the yips anymore. You're right. I think when he doesn't have the target on him, when there's not a lot of pressure on him, right now it's like he's got somebody to kind of attack, right? He's looking up at Nate Welch. He's looking up at John Luna, right? And the Paige thing I'll go back to. I feel like Paige is, are we saying, is it Israel Adesanya thing kind of a thing? Is Paige kind of in the twilight of her career kind of a thing? She's 1-3 this season. She was trying to come big this season.
Yeah.
She hasn't really fulfilled what she wanted to do. She's kind of in the pack with these other, newer battlers, the Kiki Andersons, the Ryan Nessons, the Nate Welches, I
mean, I think win-loss record is always going to be tough for her just because she's such a big target. It's so much easier to write fat jokes than any other type of joke. So that's always going to be the tricky thing for her. But she's had 4 battles. One of them was Netflix outside, so that didn't even qualify for RBL Weekly. So of the 3 she's had, and the other one might have been Jam in the Van, so she might only had 2 that qualified, and they have been number 1 and now number 3. So no, I don't think she's on the twilight of her career at all. I think she's one of the best to do this. She's just also a really big target. So let's keep it moving right now and get to the number 2 battle this week, and we are going to go to the overall points leader in the league. We're going to New York. A couple of new faces from New York on this one. It's number 2 this week. It's Ryan Peterson versus Zar Kaibar. Here it is.
Ryan looks like those inflatable balloons in front of car dealerships. He's lanky, useless, and the only thing that will blow him is a machine.
Today I'll be roasting Zar Kaibar. Zar Kaibar sounds like a knockoff vape you buy at an Indian t-shirt shop.
Thank you, Hagrid on Ozempic. Ryan went broke from using his last dollar on OnlyFans. If only he had one fan so he could afford a haircut.
Zar is Canadian, and she was also featured in a Drake music video. She was supposed to be in another one, but she turned 18, so.
Breathing heavy.
Okay, Ryan and I are really... Calm down. friends. Because of that, people always ask us if we're fucking, which is such a unique way of asking me if I've hit rock bottom.
Zara was actually a mistake, you guys. Zara's mother was just confused when Zara's father said, "Make me a sandwich." Thanks.
Did you just call me a sand monkey?
No.
Okay, Ryan is one of a kind. He's the only man in the world who is 6'5" and gets no pussy for it.
Thank you, Zartard. So, two of Czar's ex-boyfriends are sadly no longer with us. But what did you expect when your type is suicide bombers?
Thank you, Love Island, if the island was a trailer park. Ryan looks like Jesus from Skid Row. Instead of turning water into wine, he turned it into heroin.
Czar makes insufferable Instagram content. Czar considers herself an influencer. You could tell she's good at it because she influenced both of her ex-boyfriends to kill themselves.
Number 2 this week, Ryan Peterson, Czar Kaibar. Great battle.
Dude, that was fun. New York, they always do it. They know what they're doing. New York. It starts out like, okay, they know how to write a good, solid roast joke, right? It was Czar's first one. Then Ryan comes through with some kind of whatever. And then it got good.
Yeah.
And then it got good quickly.
It was one of the most clear, like, if you have like a momentum graph, it's one of the most clear start at the bottom, slowly tick up, and then shoot through the roof battles I've ever seen. Like, started very slow, and then they both hit their stride at the exact same point on like the third joke, and then three through 5, they were just throwing haymakers the whole time.
I mean, yeah, me and Ryan hang out a lot, so people assume that we're having sex. Which is a unique way to. Oh my God,
Ask
that was
if
great.
I've hit rock bottom.
Yes,
yeah, that one was really, really clever. His fucking thing about suicide bombers, I thought was
so good,
outstanding.
I got a fact check though. When Zara said that he looks like Jesus on Skid Row, Jesus was on Skid Row.
Is that true?
Wasn't he? Wasn't he poor and broke?
Oh, yeah.
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 So then Jesus was on Skid Row. Meanwhile, he wasn't a heroin dealer.
I think the Jerusalem Skid Row is a little bit different from the LA Skid Row 2024.
So you think.
Yeah. I'm sure there was a lot of crossover there. Also, if you're poor and broke but you're capable of miracles, I can't buy your sob story that much. You know what I mean? Like, if I hate to, you don't want to victim blame, but it's like if you're poor, that's your fault when you can literally snap your fingers and get money.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, he was a magician.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't an actual miracle worker.
Well, both pretty cool things to be.
Yeah.
I've never met an uncool magician.
Right. But he's also the son of God.
Which is pretty sick also.
It's kind of cool.
It's a nice resume.
Yeah.
It's a nice resume. I'm the son of God and I can do sleight of hand.
Yeah, but he's like doing like undercover
magic.
But he's doing like undercover boss shit. It's just like he wants to be broke.
Yeah. No, I think he thought that like if people saw him being broke, they would be like, he's one of us. But it's like the moment you turn water into wine, everybody's like, all right, not really. Like your cover's kind of blown at that point. The moment you come back from the dead in 3 days, and then you're like, we're the same. No, we're not. Come on, we're not falling for that. Anyway, back to the battle. I thought it was really good. New York, just the deepest talent pool. They're just always pulling these people out who I've never even heard of before, and then they come in and they're always really funny. A
lot of parallel thought here in the roast battle community.
Yeah.
I feel like we're always
What,
getting,
what are we talking about specifically this time?
Hagrid. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Now we get another Hagrid reference on
two
this
Hagrids.
episode. I feel like we always get like 2 or 3 references of the same kind from every city in every episode.
Every episode, there's one random one where it's like, they mentioned Tony Hawk 7 times this episode. That's so bizarre.
Yeah, Tokyo and over in New York. That's crazy.
Yeah,
They just,
all the way across the world. We all have the same references.
yeah, Hagrid.
Dude, just wait until Australia finds out about the Hawk Tua girl in like 2026.
No, they're gonna.
Oh my God, they're gonna run away with the division that year. No, a lot of fun. New York, obviously. What more can you say about them? We do have one more thing to say about them when we get to the standings, just to put in perspective their season and how crazy it is. But let's get to the number 1 battle this week. And boy, you want to talk about people who. Not huge names. On a week where you have, Paige Wesley, and we talked about Shalaka Corrupt and Jack Trainer happen. That's coming soon. The number 1 and 2 battles are people that we have not seen a lot of. And the number 1 battle this week comes to us from the Bay Area. This battle is between Britt Beer, who we did see earlier this season. She had a number 4 battle. But she's going up against someone who, according to my records, has never lost in RBL history. I think she's 4 or 5-0. And I have never seen her battle, and I watched it, and I was so fucking impressed. She's so fun. It's Britt Beer versus Cookie Williams. It's the number 1 battle this week. Here it is.